Hey, what's going on, everyone? Astrologer Eric Rosa for Viking Rising Astrology. This is your daily horoscope for Monday, November 4th, 2024. Dun, dun, dun. The day before the presidential election in the US. I feel my energy dipping just even saying that because it's a bunch of nonsense, but you can go check out the other video that I put up talking about why I don't think this election matters, and that's according to astrology and channeling of looking ahead. But focusing on today, I'm excited because we've actually got some fire in the zodiac finally. Well, not finally. I mean, we've had Venus like going through Sagittarius, but now Mars is also in a fire sign. It's moved into Leo where it's going to go retrograde. Moon's going through Sag today too. Mercury's now in Sagittarius. So we can kick the fires and light the fires. I said that wrong. I'm just going to leave it. But, you know, it's an opportunity to be sparky. It's an opportunity to be creative. It's an opportunity to get the passion going because with Pluto at the end of Capricorn, this is a final, I'm going to call it death march for the next few weeks because it's contained within this new moon in Scorpio that just happened where it's like death, transformation, rebirth. And so the parts that are going to carry us forward to first our responsibilities of just the things on this earth plane that we just have to keep doing and deal with and innovating and being better at and showing up to. We've got some intense, passion to like bring back to that. I think, on a personal level, I've been searching for that, and I think we all have in a certain way. I've seen some people kind of wanting to use some of the Sag energy as like a hopefulness of like hoping things will get better. Here in North America, it's like, in the US, it's like the vibes can feel really off right now. There's a lot happening out there. There's a lot of, it's unprecedented levels of interference energetically. Let's just put it that way. But that new moon in Scorpio energy that we're going to be in for a month reminds us like, hey, we're fucking powerful. Like we know how to command, the desires of what we need, want, like to come in, like energetic boundaries, follow through with commitments. It's just like finding a deeper sense of emotional reserves within ourselves to move forward into what we actually want to be doing. Because this is definitely astrology that kind of like really puts it in our face. Like, why do anything that you're not passionate about? It's like even like your day-to-day responsibilities, right? It's like you could examine, like why those things are in your life, those responsibilities. This can bring up basic levels of just like feeling appreciative and grateful, especially with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, appreciating the small things, but also to go, okay, a lot of planets retrograde. So it's like, hey, we could be in this position where we can't really change things too much. And so I think that's what's stalling people out with the hopefulness, but like the inaction is like they're looking at their life and they're wanting something to change, but this isn't really the time for like major change. This is like deeper soul level, like spiritual work. This is way more about the passion, the intensity of ourselves at a soul level, especially that's got to have the courage to find what we are really motivated to do. So it's more of a change in gears. It's more of a change in the, the way that we approach things, that it's not so like heavy and, earth, water, like it's been. It's gearing a little bit more towards a little bit more of a balanced zodiac. So I would say this is more so like, how do we balance out into the things that we're already doing? And that when we take the actions that we're still taking space to appreciate like the way that we can flow and calibrate and just show up to things just a little bit better, where, it's not just like checking boxes, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Because I think that's where people are getting depleted. There's this gap between just like doing things and then not doing things and then hoping and wishing for something to come into our lives to like make us like feel better. This is way more about, closing the gap, really just going, okay, At any moment, we can call in that spiritual connection. Scorpio brings up spiritual hunger. We're going to be in Scorpio season for, another couple of weeks. And so, how do we find that hunger within ourselves to keep going? Because that very much brings us up with Pluto at the end of Capricorn. It's just like how to survive, how to keep going, how to dig deep and persevere through the blocks, through the challenges. They can feel heavy, Saturn's in this, opposition where it was aspected by that new moon. And so it's, we've got to somehow lay the tracks subconsciously. I think Saturn's here to help us because, it is going super slow. It's basically stopped because it's going to come out of its retrograde here. I believe it's on the 14th of November. So it is cluing us into places that we can actually focus and make our lives better, less sloppy. So if you're unsatisfied with getting things done, I would go actually to the structures of your subconscious mind and your integrity focused connection with spirit and see how can you clean things up more on the back end of the operating system between you and spirit, and not so much blasting energy all over the place, because Sagittarius does bring up being all over the place, doing a lot. And I say that especially because Mercury is at fall, doesn't like being in Sagittarius because it's the mind. It's where it's all the details and things we got to consume and look at. And Sagittarius, it's a lot of ground to cover, and that's a lot for our mind to focus on. And so I think one of the easiest ways to make adjustments is actually going to be paying attention to what Saturn's saying. It was the only planet that was really actually being aspected by that new moon's energy. So, and it was a good one. So it's, it's an emotional, intuitive way of you could say letting the feminine energy sort of lead a little bit by informing us what to focus on, so that we're not just, especially with Mars in shadow and Leo, just pouring passion, intensity, creativity, doing things that we love, but maybe we don't have the full scope yet because it's in that pre-shadow. And so I think the divine feminine is very much here to help with that intuitive, spiritual, connected nature. It always is, but it's I think we have to go with that. And it's definitely not about being lazy during these times. I know, personally, I was using that Mars that was at the very end of Cancer opposed Pluto, seeing it and going, okay, it's still a few weeks of Pluto and Capricorn. This is kind of do or die moments, for soul level commitment, in a way to go, are you just going to stay comfortable, play small, or are you going to commit deeper to yourself about, your longer term, road ahead, and it's setting us up for the next 20 years of Pluto and Aquarius. So it was using it to kind of recharge and not push too hard, but it's okay, now Mars is in Leo. Now we've got all this fire, all this Sagittarius energy. So it's we need to use it. It's use it or lose it. It's there's plenty of opportunities. There's expansion. And I think we've got to make sure that we're not getting distracted by just things that just are just there to take us down. That's everything from, the past, the media stuff, you call it misinformation, you call it too much information, complexities of just taking in too many things, or, getting overwhelmed by a to-do list, and then shutting down, mentally or emotionally, just not showing up to the best things. And so this is where I think we've got to surf the waves with that spiritual intuitive connection to make sure that we know, where it is that we want to go. We're in an interesting, kind of in between zone, I think, for these next few days, where we can get a lot done, but it's about focusing on the things that we have the energy for, and the right energy is always going to be the thing that Spirit's showing you is meant to be focused on anyway. Probably the thing that you're overly focused on, like the thing that you're thinking like, oh, this is the one big thing that I need for my life to, make it feel like Christmas in November, and, all these like opportunities. That's probably the thing to surrender at the moment, because it's odd, because it's like this, we're in spiritual destiny land, so it's like if it's really meant to be on your path and your destiny, it's going to be longer term anyway. It's like, it's like, don't eat the low hanging fruit. This is way more about, don't try to leap too high to a higher rung of life and then get demoralized that you can't like reach it, because that's what Pluto and Capricorn's been teaching us. It's like we have to dig deep and find passion and just, the restrictions of life and the physical reality of things. And so, and you can even take stock too, just, even reflect on life in this astrology the past month or two and go, hey, like when I did get the thing that I wanted, was I actually satisfied? Did it actually fulfill me? Because I think that with this new moon Scorpio energy that we're in, it's like we're got some leaky holes in the cup if we're trying to just bring in like new shit to fulfill us, during a time with is way more about, almost like a funeral to like an old, way of living, which was the part where we could just find ways to take, breaks or be in nostalgia or like kind of be on the fence about doing our deep spiritual work. And like now, it's not about being hyper vigilant, because that would be like sabotaging. It's, because in the mind taking over, but it's more like there's no such thing right now as asking, and that is the key, is asking for spiritual support, like asking for the help of your guides and your angels to keep you focused, to keep you on track, to keep you, going where you need to be going, and to not sweep under the, old rug in the room that you don't go into, the metaphor for the mind of the thing that you don't want to do, that your intuition's like showing you that you just gotta like do or take care of. Because I could see some of this astrology being like so hopeful and optimistic that people just like only want to look at the good and the positive stuff, and then it's like not actually looking at the reality. It's not actually looking at the underworld of Pluto and the Scorpio energy of going like you're gonna experience a great fall and be questioning your belief system basically, and even just the strength and courage of your own heart to go forward. If you're believing in something that is just like nonsense, it's like too spiritual, airy-fairy, and it's just, we still got to root it into the facts. We still got to root it into the concrete evidence of what has been showing up in life or what hasn't been showing up. And yeah, go make those subconscious tweaks with spirit, but at least when you go there, it's like you're getting the insight. You're not just like making up like some rosy story narrative of like what you mentally, emotionally like want life to look like. And this could also be relationships, this could be money situations, projects, basically just anything that deals with like the flair of how you want it to give you some just like divine spark in life in the physical. And it's actually more about the divine spark coming from within you, and that starts very much with that Mars and Leo energy of the heart to go, gosh, like if we can't like ebb and flow like with this astrology now, how are we going to make it through 2025 and 2026? If we're start trying to control things, or we're stuck in entertainment mode, or feeling like our restrictions somehow have greater power over us than actually the indomitable spirit of our soul to like persevere, how are we going to get through these next couple of years? And so, I look at this astrology as like a supplies gathering preparation for, boot camp's over, it's ending. It's like get ready for like the real spiritual war basically that's coming. And so it's like stock up on like what you need, you know. You need, like, yes, make sure you're getting good rest, make sure you're balancing out like what you need to be doing in terms of like your giving, receiving energy of your output of your energy and where you're focused that energy. You know, it's like take care of like what you're putting into your body, especially the information that you're consuming, especially, you know, this is good astrology for, you know, eating foods that like you don't eat all the time, like being diversified in it. It's good for being really focused and getting a lot done in terms of like your productivity, like work slash business life, but then also carving out significant pockets of time to also be productive in the spiritual realm of things, of like going out into nature and meditating, and not to like over question, you know, where you're going or connecting with your guides, more so just like being in a receiving place like from that. So because it's like there is help, there is support, and so it's like you just ask for it, and it's like they will show you what you need to shift in your life to like make sure that you are calibrating and being on a path of mastery, so that like whatever happens with the election, whatever happens in the weeks, the months that follow, and even whatever happens in the next couple of years, it's like you're getting used to that passion that, you know, I can handle this. Like, let's get, like, this is about getting back to that. This is not about, we've got to start to flip the switch from the exhaustion of like, oh, I'm just so done with this and this and this, and I'm tired, and just I'm waiting for this to change or this thing to change. And it's like, that is almost like highlight reels of pre-2019, like still wanting things to go back a certain way. And it's like we have to like flip the switch to this like getting excited for, I can handle it. You're a soul that chose to incarnate during this time on this planet during this time. It's like, get back to that. Use this fire of Sag, of Leo now, like with these planets like shifting into these fire signs of going, I can fucking handle this. And it's almost like, hey, spirit guides, where do you want me to put this? Oh, you want me to keep pouring it into the same area I've been doing, and you're telling me I'm going to start to get like more yields from it? Great. Because like people are talking right now about like they want the gifts to come. It's very Sagittarius, like it's like, you know, blessings and all that, but it's like, are you really doing the work though as a spiritual being to align with the expression of your energy that for not even forces, but just like very neutral, very hermetic, like it's just natural laws of the universe, of law of vibration and attraction, where it's like that's the energy you're putting out, so then that's the energy that you're getting back. No one's gonna get anything like super awesome by being a victim right now or begging. You'll get something. That's the nice thing about the Sag Leo energy. It's like you'll still get something, you know, that, you know, is that you want or that you need in order to like keep going. But, you know, is that really going to help in the long run? I think that's really the key for us to be assessing today, is like, it's not about just like feeling better or feeling good or, you know, wanting a shift. This is playing a long game ahead of how do we shift our vibration, our mindset, especially our belief system, that puts us in a position to where, you know, as things start to go down, starting probably around this election, but, you know, the weeks and months after 2025, that like the shock was almost like the, oh wow, that happened. Oh, okay, now I need to just like go do this and do this with my spirit guides and move in this direction. And it's like, they're not like these surprises that we have where we've almost become too accustomed to the modern amenities of living. We're like, oh my God, my computer's running slower. Oh my God, my phone dropped this phone call. Or it's like naming like tech things, communication things, but it's like we're getting upset over the unpredictability of things happening that like didn't feel positive. And it's like, well, why are we surprised that that happened when change is inevitable? Like energy is always emotion, things are always like moving, you know what I mean? So it's like align the belief system and the vibration with this like can-do attitude and like start doing that now, like moving forward. I feel like is the thing where it's like we start to accept the change, the uncertainty, all these like massive shifts that are going to be coming above, on earth, below, like within, like, you know, relationships, just all of it. And that's the mastery. Hope that makes sense. I'll pull a card for today. By the way, if you want to get that Destiny Tug of War special, learn about the astrology of 2025, so at least the significant aspects. I couldn't cover all 2025 in a 3-hour webinar, but I put the minute markers in for all 12 signs. If you want to find out, you know, what those outer planet shifting signs means, the node shifting, I go deep into that. Destiny Tug of War, how to not play small, it's $9. And of course, I'll have other links down below as well for other products and services to connect with me, including getting a private astrology reading with yours truly. So, yeah, feel that. So got the solar calm clarify card. So this is all about like finding, you know, almost like a calm after the storm, but it was in the reverse position. Like we're not feeling calm right now. Like, come on. There's waves, there's fluctuations that are happening everywhere. Yeah, maybe we're not feeling the most abundant today. Maybe that's like with our energy or our focus, you know. This could also be like too muchness. You know, Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, so it's like, it's a lot going on. All reversals. The Cancer energy of immersion, but reverse. So it's like, we're not feeling comfortable today. You know, gosh, can we get something to help us out here? No. The Virgo Digest card. It's funny, these cards came up recently. I shuffled too. I think we're in it. We are in it. We are in it. So I think we almost have to just be okay with like, this is how it feels. This is how it's going. How do we just, you know, find that heart energy and show up and create the beauty anyway? So I think a lot of this is not about letting energy around you create your experience. I think it's about the alchemization of these disruptive energies and going, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to show up anyway. I'm going to be a boss anyway. I'm going to get used to, you know, how the fluctuations go and, you know, harness the rawness of energy, very Scorpio, and just like put it into something that you value, that's creative, that not just sustains, you know, you from a survival place or is, you know, connects and is, you know, service to others, but is like prolific in terms of your long term, that it's like sustainable passion, like it's feeding you into the next places in your life that's gonna like go somewhere, even when there's like gaps of like not knowing how certain things are gonna come together. That passion energy is probably gonna create the next stepping stone vibrationally to where the place that you want and need to go. So, all right, love you all. See you on the next horoscope.